I'm here on Salt Spring Island following the big storm we experienced on December 20th. Salt Spring saw some of the worst damage from this storm. I'm pleased to say that after 11 days, our crews have been able to get the lights back on for the final customers affected by this event. However, responding to this event took a massive effort beyond any BC Hydro has had to undertake before. It required an unprecedented mobilization of resources and people. This was one of the worst storms BC Hydro has experienced, with the most infrastructure damage and total customers impacted over the past 20 years. In total, we had over 730,000 customers impacted overall, and at the peak of the storm, 380,000 were without power. That's larger than the storm season of 2006, which impacted Vancouver Island and devastated Stanley Park in Vancouver, or the windstorm of August 2015. One of the reasons this storm ended up being so bad is that this was different weather than we've typically experienced here in BC. The wind came from multiple directions, and it affected 4 geographic regions at once: Vancouver Island, the Gulf Islands, the Lower Mainland, and the Fraser Valley. This presented a big challenge. Typically, we're able to move crews quickly between the regions so that we can get extra help to the places most affected. Moving this many crews, trucks, heavy machinery, and materials, all needed to rebuild the system over the many islands and regions, added an additional layer of complexity. The winds were also very strong, measuring over 100 kilometers per hour in some areas on the mainland and Vancouver Island. The ground in many areas was completely saturated from a period of heavy rain preceding the storm, which contributed to instability of the trees and the soil. All of these conditions combined to create damage that was more significant than any single storm we've seen before. In any storm event, our top priority is safety. Our crews work closely with first responders, particularly in the first 24 hours, to address safety issues like down wires and to restore critical infrastructure like water treatment plants and hospitals. Right at the outset, our crews were well prepared and positioned in areas where we expected the storm to hit. However, the amount of damage was so significant that it took several days to complete full damage assessments in some of the hardest hit areas. Much of this was due to a number of inaccessible roads which were completely covered in trees and vegetation. We needed to survey the damage in some remote areas by helicopter. We had thousands of pieces of equipment damaged, including poles, cross arms, and transformers. We had over 5,000 trouble orders for outages, down wires, trees on our lines, and low wires, all of which had to be dispatched. For comparison, we usually get around 300 trouble orders in an average storm. And that's a huge amount of work, and why restoration took so long in some areas. On the Gulf Islands alone, more than 500 spans of wire came down. Up to 100 poles were replaced. And while this was a challenging event, we mobilized quickly, activating crews and operation centers across all the affected regions. We redeployed crews from other areas of the province to Vancouver Island and reached out to other utilities for assistance. We coordinated our major operations directly out of Nanaimo and Surrey. As a result, we restored around 70% of affected customers, or over 500,000 customers, within 24 hours of the storm hitting on December 20th. At BC Hydro, we debrief after every storm event. This is a regular part of our operations where we reflect on what we can do better. This storm is no different. We already know that some customers had challenges learning about the status of their outage, and that some customers experienced challenges when reporting down power lines in their communities. Safety is our number one priority, and we'll be taking a close look at the down power line issue as we begin to debrief on how this event unfolded. And we will be looking for ways to continue to improve how we ensure that the most up-to-date information is available for people as quickly as possible. We know this event has had a significant impact on our customers during the holiday season. Throughout the event, I've been humbled by the support that communities across the province have shown to our crews. I want to thank all of our customers for their understanding and patience as we work to bring the power back safely to everyone impacted by the storm. I also want to thank all the crews who worked long hours away from their families so that our customers could get power back just as quickly as we possibly could. I also want to give a thank you to the many partners who helped us, from the road crews clearing the roads to first responders who helped keep people safe, BC Ferries who were instrumental getting our crews to where they needed to go, and all the local businesses that have helped provide accommodations and food, and the other utilities and contractors who stepped up with additional crew support to speed restoration. We recognize how difficult the storm event was for many people. Responding to this storm required a massive mobilization of resources and an enormous effort to make the necessary repairs in a relatively short period of time. That said, as with any event, we are looking at how we can further improve our storm response. I want to assure you that when the next event that Mother Nature throws at us hits, BC Hydro will be here and be ready to support our customers. Thank you very much.